Greetings and welcome back. It is a monumental occasion. We are to introduction number 25 this early on in Skylanders Trap Team. And what better character to be mile marker number 25 than the only Series 4 character? That is, of course, Tidal Wave Gill Grunts. He is nowhere near the one I intended. Luckily, I have the single pack who's here, so we'll just run with this one. I actually plan to unbox the triple pack guy.
Fear the fish.
I'm gonna keep this one sealed up. I think it may be rare. That said, this is him. 6 water Skylanders now. Gonna come back over here to my handy dandy spreadsheet, and we're gonna come in and take a look at Tidal Wave Gill Grunts.
I am one prize fish.
Seems like his voice is a little different, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe as he talks he'll sound more familiar, but right now that did not really match with what I recall. I'm going to come in here to his stats, and I'll let you gander at those while I cover his background story, in case you forgot. It's not like we've been over this 4 times already, so it's only been 3. And, actually, it's been more than that because I probably covered it with the sidekicks, but you get the idea. It's still kind of weird he doesn't have a legendary to me. I don't necessarily push for that. I'm just saying it's kind of strange. So, anyway, his slogan is "Fear the Fish." Gill Grunt was a brave soul who joined the Gilman military in search of adventure. While journeying through a misty lagoon in the clouds, he met an enchanting mermaid. He vowed to return to her after his tour. Keeping his promise, he came back to the lagoon years later, only to learn a nasty band of pirates had kidnapped the mermaid. Heartbroken, Gill Grunt began searching all over Skylands. Though he had yet to find her, he joined the Skylanders to help protect others from such an evil, while still keeping an ever-watchful eye for the beautiful mermaid and the pirates who took her. So, kind of a sad story there for Gill Grunt, but on the bright side, he's our only Series 4 Skylander, so not even Spyro has a Series 4 pose. So, that said, we're going to come in here. Let me get down to the water elements. It's going to be the last one. There it is. Alright. His health is 270. His armor, we're sitting at 6, which is incredibly low. Speed 50, which is pretty low. Critical hit 50, which is respectable. Critical hit doesn't really mean much to me. Elemental power 60, box stock would have been 25. For those of you that care, I've gotten his money ready for upgrades in Swap Force. In that game, Swap Force, he is plus 60 on the health side, 330 versus 270, plus 12 on the armor, 18 versus 6, negative 15 on the speed, 50 versus 35, and then his critical hits is fractional. We're talking 15 in Swap Force versus the 50 that it is here, so kind of gives you an idea of what to expect there. Now,
Looking good. Looking good.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a different voice actor. Anyway, which is sad because he's a Series 4 guy. Anyway, harpoon gun. Shoot high velocity harpoons at your enemies. You'll just do it very slowly. Next up is power hose. Press and hold B to spray water at your enemies to knock them back. If you happen to not be tired of Gill Grunts, in addition to Gill Runt that you can pick up with a red base now, there's also Eon's Elite Gill Grunt coming your way. So, these next 4 are base upgrades. You got barbed harpoons. Harpoons do increased damage. Follow that up with high pressure power hose. Power hose attack does extra damage and knocks enemies back further. Then you've got harpoon repeater. Harpoons reload faster. That is much appreciated. And lastly, and this is really cool for him, you got water jetpack. Press Y to fly until the water jetpack runs out. Increase speed and armor while flying. Now, top path is the harpooner. This is classic stuff. It's what I first took with him in SSA, and then I learned that Water Weaver was probably way better in Giants. So, Quadrant Harpoons kicks off Harpooner. Harpoons do even more increased damage. This is a textbook reason of why I go through painstakingly. It bothered me for years, SSA and Giants, and then finally in Swap Force, Vicarious Visions made the little dummies, and I could test these easily one by one. Because even more increased, that really does bother me. I know that some of you don't care about it, and you're like, oh great, it's going to do more damage. I need to know how much, and how much more, and what percent. I need numbers, not Adjective, adjective, adjective. That doesn't cut it for me. Next up is piercing harpoons. Harpoons travel straight through enemies and hit new targets. That was always cool. And check out the Cyclops getting hit. Hadn't seen one of those in this game yet. Next up is triple shot harpoon. Shoot 3 harpoons at once. That's actually pretty functional for him as well. Now down below is water weaver. It's kind of what I prefer just because it, makes up for some deficiencies in this game. Reserve water tank. The power hose and water jetpack never run out of water. That right there is basically the reason you take this path. Next up is boiling water hose. Power hose attack does even more increased damage. And lastly, Neptune gun. When using the hose, press X to launch exploding creatures. Soul Gem is Anchor Cannon. Hold X to charge the Anchor Cannon. Now, if you're a huge Gill Grunt fan, you're going to buy this. You're probably getting 2 of them. You're probably getting 2 of the buddy packs. So you have 2 Tidal Waves and 2 Gill Grunts. That said, if you've got a collection of Gill Grunts, maybe you didn't even pick him up in SSA. Maybe you started in Giants, and then you landed a Swap Force pose. You're probably sitting here thinking, why would I get Tidal Wave Gill Grunt? Is it just because I have to get the mini or something? And the answer is no. You would get it because A, you're a huge Gill Grunt fan. B, you absolutely love the pose. It is a pretty neat one. You got to give him that this time around. I still like his Giants pose best personally. That's just me. A lot of people fond of his Series 3 pose. To me, Series 2 is where it's at. That said, if you're not, like the ridiculously obsessive collector, if you're thinking, man, that's $10 I could do something else with, why would I get it? The main reason that you would get this if you don't fall into one of those other, default categories is the Wow Pow. So the Soul Gem Anchor Cannon, you got access to that, but the Wow Pow, this is not the Series 2-3 Wow Pow. This is something totally different, and it is Ride the Leviathan. So it is basically his pose, Series 4 Tidal Wave Gill Grunt. It is based entirely on his Wow Pow, which I think is pretty cool. Again, Wow Pow is Ride the Leviathan in jetpack mode, which once again, that's a reason to take Water Weaver, is it not? Press Y to ride a giant Leviathan, taking out anything in its path. I'm actually excited for it. I'm pretty much guaranteed to take Water Weaver, at least with this guy. Maybe with Gill Grunt I'll come in and do a different one. We'll wait and see, but right now I am all about Water Weaver, and I want to see what the Leviathan's going to do damage wise. I hope it has a good duration on it, and I hope if it doesn't, if it's like one and done type deal, I hope you can just basically spam it. That's kind of going to be a big deal. That said, that is Tidal Wave Gill Grunt. Again, I really feel like his voice is different. Maybe someone else out there can back me up. He does seem a bit quicker than he did in previous games. This is what he looks like when he jumps. That's kind of sad too, because last time in Swap Force, what Vicarious Visions had done is they had almost like a jetpack effect. When he jumps up, you'd see like a spurt of water going down. Maybe that'll come as this guy evolves, I don't know, but it looks like they took that out for this one. He kind of spans his legs out more. But he's fairly nimble compared to your typical Gill Grunt experience, at least box stock. Now, 120. As you can see, that was the critical number, which is super rare, but 80 to 120. He's got some lag in between those, but, it's not terrible. It's just his attack, it's like straightforward, literally. And so if you don't hone in on an enemy, or maybe it's going to hone in on a Chompy when you wanted it to hit a tougher enemy, that's when, you really appreciate, like, the triple shot and everything like that. In particular, the piercing harpoons as well. That said, his secondary attack, 28. Look how fast he runs out, too. It's, like, tragic the way this happens. 28, if we had a critical, it'd do 42. Now, in the glory days, water really meant something. And, like, right here, ooh. Thank you, Toys for Bob. Now, in Swap Force, they had done away with this. Like, you could be in the water and it wouldn't matter. This is actually well done. You can see right there, he's not in it. And then if I take a step this way, the meter never goes down because he's got a water supply. So, excited to see that was corrected, as it should be, in my opinion. So, that said, this is Tidal Wave Gill Grunt. That's why you should get him. It's why I have him. I have the standalone Gill Grunt in the single pack because I think it's going to be rare. Why? Because he's in a triple pack, which most people like to buy. Similarly, a lot of people probably go to Walmart because the prices are lower and you can get their exclusive buddy pack, which is essentially Gill Grunt with TWGG. Now, my thoughts on the single pack were it might turn out to be one of those ones that's there at launch and then you just never see again. And so I'm going to open up the triple pack with blades and torch. That way I have 2 blades and 2 torches. Was the main incentive, I'm not going to lie. But it also freed up that Gill Grunt, and I can keep this one solo. I don't think I'm going to get the buddy pack just because I hate going into Walmart. I already have Gill Grunt, but the thing is, he's going to come in a pack with Thumpling, and so if I want, I have Thumpling too, just not a red-based one. But I'm sure that the water guys are going to get one just later on, so I'm probably going to go that route. But that said, I'll actually be able to take a lot of paths with this guy. So if you're a Gill Grunt fan, stay tuned for that. He may actually be the first one I upgrade. I may just give him the honor of being that person. In part because I'm really excited about the Wow Pow. And it does have a lot to do with it being modeled after the figure. So kind of a nice tie in there. We'll see what he does. That said, thanks so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, make sure to do that. If you're on Twitch, make sure to follow me. I stream the chapters to my Twitch account and then, of course, export them over here to YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+. My personal site is oneofwisdom.com. Tons of Skylanders info there. If you haven't checked it out, Skylander Club Forum, I encourage you to do so. SkylanderClub.com/forum. That is the place to be. It is a site dedicated to Skylanders. It is geared towards the high-end, kind of serious Portal Master and player. We've got classified strategies, tips and tricks, sales, Skylander hunting, all kinds of stuff. Basically anything and everything Skylander related you can find there. We do things differently than a lot of sites. We actually keep the information factual. We don't fabricate things. It's obviously got a lot of my personal research and things documented there. As time frees up, I will be exporting more and more of my archived collection of ridiculous information that direction, so stay tuned for that. But if that kind of fits your bill, you're kind of more into the details, you kind of appreciate the small things, the numbers, factual information, things along those lines, I encourage you to check it out. You got nothing to lose, and if you like it, we'd love to have you sign up and join us. That said, for myself and TWGG, we're going to get out of here, and like I said, I may just come in here and actually make Tidal Wave my first upgraded Skylander. So we'll see how it goes, but once again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you back here for introduction number 26. My thoughts are that will probably be the minis, unless something crazy happens. So stay tuned for that. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all back here next time.